What is your take? What is it that they want when they say no kings? What do they want?
They think Donald Trump is behaving like a king.
How so?
Because, well, he ran on a platform and was elected and won every swing state and the popular vote. And then once he got in, he did exactly what he said he was going to do, which is
exactly what a king does.
That's what makes you a king. And then he let them protest, which is also what a king does.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, no, he didn't send the troops to stop the protests. And in fact, he congratulated them on doing a great job. And he said, "I'm still your president."
Yeah, I saw that.
Tweets hilarious.
Yeah.
It is hilarious. Sometimes fake things are funny because you're going to be shocked to find out that Joe Rogan has once again fallen for something fake on the internet. The tweet that he's referenced was it was put out by Donald Trump Jr., who in the caption says it's not real. And it says, "A huge thank you to all the No Kings protesters yesterday. I was very concerned a king was trying to take my place, but thanks to your tireless efforts, I am still your president. Great job all." And he bought it. Even though Donald Trump never says anything positive, even sarcastically positive towards the opposition. So once again, it's the sort of thing that for a rational working mind would have set off alarms, but Joe Rogan likes it, so he just accepts it. And this is not a tangential part of his dismissive approach to the No Kings protests. When he referenced that, he used that as, this is a reason why it's ridiculous that the 7 million people think that he's being a king, but much more significantly than him once again falling for fake news and not being fact checked by the multiple producers that he has at his multi-$100 million show, is the approach to it. Why do they think he's a king? Well, because he ran on a platform and he did everything he said he was gonna do. And then the other guy goes, yeah, they are ridiculous. What are we doing? Like, you're a full grown ass man, Joe Rogan. Why are you acting like a tiny little baby boy? You don't have to agree with the protesters, but why not answer that like they might, okay? Tell me why they say he's a king, and then you explain why they're wrong. You clearly think that they're wrong. Now, it would be a little bit more of an intellectually strenuous task to knock down their real reasons than the straw man that you just provided, and I would argue that's why you did it in the first place. It was laziness and cowardice that led to you saying that. No, they do not think that he's a king because he ran on a platform and did exactly what he said he was gonna do. I can't speak for every one of the 7 million people, few people could. It was a very big crowd, but I would imagine it's probably some combination of firing people in the executive branch that he has no legal authority to actually fire, impounding funding that Congress has actually designated, destroying the White House, destroying the Department of Education, the CDC, firing all of these people, including people that he has no call to actually fire. You could say accepting a $500 billion plane from the Qataris, utter corruption, accepting all this money from the crypto industry. I would say maybe the pardons of his business associates and frauds all around the place. Pardoning George Santos and specifically citing as a reason that you're doing that, the fact that he had voted along with you while he was in Congress, covering up the Epstein files. Like, we could go on and on with this, but it's a little bit harder to rebut that than it is to say, oh, because they don't like what he's doing. And so anyway, look, most of the people watching this, they're not gonna be surprised that Joe Rogan didn't bring a lot of intellectual rigor to an argument that he's making there, Viviana, but considering his continuing audience size, I would expect him to try at least a little bit harder. What do you think?
It's very sad because I don't know that he's ever gonna learn. He's not a journalist. He's a failed stand-up comedian. He was a very good TV host at watching people suffer and eat bugs and God knows what else. He seems to get joy from other people suffering. So he also must have smoked a lot of pot because he has a really poor, like, short-term memory. He talks about, oh, Epstein files, we're supposed to get it out. Now all of a sudden Trump's promising on everything or delivering on everything he's promised. Unfortunately, he's not someone that anybody should be taking news from, but sadly, a lot of people are. And that's where they get their information. They believe everything he says.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's really sad. Well, look, he I guess is gonna try to cow these people into not caring anymore by mocking them or whatever. Great. Again, they're never expected to be understanding towards other people on the other side. Every election we are. The left is always told, why aren't you nicer to the right? Why aren't you nicer to Republicans? This is how they treat us in the 4 years between elections. But the percentage of the American people that think that he is acting more like a dictator than a president is not only high at 56%, it's also growing. Just in April, it was 52%. So he's lost another 4% of the American people in about 4 months there. And so maybe Joe Rogan, it's something to actually look into. You're growing more and more detached from the way regular Americans actually think about this administration.